Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to @Global Pulse News, where Malawi's biggest stories meet bold analysis and the splash of witty truth. So, former President Peter Mutharika has just dropped a political grenade, claiming he already signed certain big things with foreign nations long ago. Hey, come. People are asking, so why now? Why the sudden reminder? Meanwhile, social media is boiling faster than SEMA on Saturday. Tonight, we're peeling this story layer by layer. 8 sharp facts that reveal what Mutharika meant, what it means for Malawi, and why Achewa are saying, Sakomoka ai. Grab your tea, sit back, and let's dive right into the madness, the kind only Malawian politics can cook. Peter Mutharika, calm yet confident, recently announced that he had already signed agreements with several foreign countries during his presidency. We are simply continuing what was started, he said. But Malawians went, yeah? Continuing what exactly? The claim came like thunder out of a clear sky. For years, nobody had seen documentation, no briefings, nothing. Suddenly, the professor reminds the nation, I already handled that. It's like discovering your uncle bought land in your name years ago, and now he's asking you to start building. The timing puzzled citizens and analysts alike. Supporters hailed it as proof of foresight. Critics called it revisionist PR. Some wondered if the claim aimed to remind voters that APM still has global connections, a subtle political flex. Yet others said, Buona, transparency sees on my posters, aye? Every whisper revived an old debate about accountability and long-term governance. But that was just the spark. Next came the question that really fired the nation's imagination. Why now? Malawi's political climate right now could fry an egg on a cold day. So when Mutharika suddenly mentioned foreign agreements signed already, it landed in the middle of an overheated season. Opposition parties, especially MCP loyalists, accused him of trying to steal the spotlight from current administration woes. But DPP faithful clapped back, saying their leader was simply reminding people of unfinished business. Timing matters. When a leader resurfaces with such statements amid cabinet confusion, fuel prices, and donor fatigue, folks smell strategy. Some analysts joked, APM's comeback timing is as precise as kwacha depreciation, always when people are broke. Yet others see an intentional narrative, positioning himself as the man with international credibility. Citizens on the streets of Blantyre asked, Kodi, izim di campagna chibale or legacy polishing? The tone of public conversation showed fatigued, mixed with fascination. Mutharika's move stirred the pot at just the right or wrong time. But beyond timing, we must ask, what exactly did he sign and who was involved? Every deal has its architects. The question now is who stood beside APM when he signed these mysterious papers? Reports suggest a handful of diplomats and ministry officials were present, but their identities remain vague. Even within DPP, some senior members admitted surprise. One insider said, we only heard of those agreements when everyone else did. If true, this secrecy paints a troubling picture of governance conducted in the dark where signatures appear before discussions. It's like cooking SEMA alone, then blaming others for not stirring. Malawians love transparency, even if it hurts. When leaders bypass consultation, they break trust. Still, defenders argue the president had constitutional authority and that confidentiality is standard in foreign policy. Fair, yes, but democracy thrives on disclosure. Without sunlight, truth grows mold. So how did the public react once the news broke wide open across Malawi's airwaves? When this story hit the press, Malawi went into what I call WhatsApp university mode. Everyone became a political analyst overnight. Zodiac, Times, and Capital FM hosted fiery panels. Street vendors argued beside their tomato stalls. Goma, APM Watichani. Hashtags like Mutharika deals trended. Public sentiment split clean down the middle. Some said, let's give the old man credit. At least he planned ahead. Others groaned, planning without telling us? Ndiye chimenchi. The memes came fast. Photoshopped APM signing papers with world leaders under the caption, "Terms and conditions apply." Even comedians jumped in, turning it into late-night punchlines. Still, amidst the laughter lay a serious concern: accountability. Malawians want to know the value of those deals, how much, with whom, and who benefits. As one Blantyre businessman put it, if foreign agreements are meant to grow our economy, why does our wallet still cry? But reaction alone doesn't build nations. Execution does. Let's talk follow-through. You can sign all the fancy papers in the world, but if the promises never touch the ground, they remain ink dreams. Many of Mutharika's previously announced projects, mining ventures, infrastructure, trade partnerships, moved slower than a minibus during rush hour. Supporters blame bureaucracy and sabotage. Critics point to mismanagement. Economists note that between 2015 and 2020, foreign commitments often looked larger on paper than in practice. One analyst quipped, "Malawi signs billions, delivers thousands." The irony hurts because the country's needs are visible: roads, jobs, hospitals. For ordinary citizens, it's simple. Tikufuna results, osima ceremony. Development without impact is like dancing without music. You move, but nobody feels it. If the deals Mutharika signed are truly valuable, Malawians ask, where are the fruits? And when fruits don't show, political vines begin to twist. Cue internal party tensions. The DPP, once tightly disciplined, now feels the pressure cooker. Younger members question whether leadership communication still flows. "We need new energy, not old secrecy," one youth wing rep murmured. Older loyalists rushed to defend APM. "He's a professor. He knows what he's doing." Behind closed doors, factions emerge, some dreaming of fresh leadership, others clinging to the old guard. APM's re-entry into foreign deal talk rekindled identity wars within the party. One strategist reportedly said, "We must choose between nostalgia and renewal." That statement alone trended on Facebook. Internal divisions are dangerous because they leak, and once leaks hit the public, unity looks like fiction. If DPP fails to manage its messaging, opponents will exploit the confusion. But wait, every political ripple has national consequences. What does this mean for Malawi's governance overall? This saga isn't just about one ex-president. It exposes weak accountability systems. In mature democracies, foreign deals undergo parliamentary scrutiny. In Malawi, many agreements float between ministries and the executive, invisible to citizens. That gap fuels suspicion. The episode reminds us that we need stronger oversight. Transparency shouldn't depend on who sits at Kamuzu Palace. Institutions must outlive personalities. APM's revelation reignited civic groups' calls for freedom of information reforms. If we knew what was signed, we wouldn't be guessing now, activists argued. Malawi's democratic growth means demanding documentation, not rumors, because without solid systems, history repeats itself. Each government re-signing, re-promising, re-explaining. It's a loop Malawians know too well. Finally, beyond politics and policy, what does this all teach the nation about leadership and legacy? Love him or doubt him, Peter Mutharika remains one of Malawi's most educated and globally connected leaders. His claim of having signed major deals could be seen as an attempt to remind the nation of his credentials. But leadership is judged not only by what you signed, but by what people felt after you left office. The lesson here? Transparency equals trust. As one youth activist said, next time, leaders must sign in the sunlight, not the shadows. If Mutharika's words sparked that awareness, maybe this controversy will serve a higher purpose. For now, the professor's declaration has re-energized debate about legacy, foreign relations, and accountability. Malawi moves forward only when past lessons shape future action. And that, dear viewers, is where we leave today's spicy political stew simmering.